Hello, today I'm going to be answering the question, looking back at your preliminary task, what do you feel you've learnt in the progression from it to the core product? So let's get started. So the camera shots, for instance, in the preliminary task, they're very still, and it was shot reverse shot between the two characters when they're speaking, close-ups, and I believe it was a mid shot, of the two characters sitting on the desk. Other than that, the camera was still and it wasn't moving at all. This was good for the idea we wanted to get across, because we wanted to show that we could produce a good product in a short amount of time. But it was kind of very unimaginative, and we were restricted to only using a tripod, which we weren't, which we weren't in the main product. So the one thing that we've learned from that was being more imaginative with the shots. So, for instance, we created our own slider, and we used our own slider for the shots, for the shots across the bridge and the shots in the house. To give it more professional look and make it look a lot more kind of professional and more like a proper product and like a film studio is making this product. We also used a Steadicam for the walking scenes. We didn't want to keep cutting between the two characters when they were walking along, and we wanted the conversation to kind of pace and have a certain flow to it. We didn't want to have two characters just sat in a house talking to each other. So that's why we used the Steadicam, walking backwards with the camera, and then us following the camera and talking as it went. We did use shot reverse shot during this, once from George's character's angle and my character's angle, and I think it works well. There's some shots in there that really do look effective, and it looks like we've come a long way from our preliminary task. The preliminary task was quite simple. It was quite, it's minimalistic. This one was very more. We kind of tried to break the boundaries of what we could do, and we wanted to go further than we did before. Also, the process of creating this, and the after effects, and the little details of every little thing. So, for instance, we shot the preliminary task over a weekend, and that was it. We didn't write a script. It was all improvised during the day of shooting. For the main product, we wrote scripts, we wrote different versions of the script, we planned ideas, we planned different scenarios and scenes, just to make sure we had the best scene we could, and the scene and we also wanted it a lot more fleshed out, and where would the characters go from the point where we left them. Also, a lot, the post-production side of it. Actually, no, I'll come back to that in a minute. The actual shooting schedules and the shooting. So the preliminary task was done over a weekend. We didn't refilm anything. We did that, and that was it. The full product, we filmed over the whole of Christmas and partway through February. No, by the end of January it was completed. We did this because we'd finished it just before Christmas. We filmed all the rough bases of it, but then we decided that some of the shots weren't, it wasn't really working, and it didn't look professional, and there were bits of cars, you could see a person walking in the distance, and we didn't want this because obviously it was meant to be a world where everyone's died. So we went back and refilmed it in a different location where there wasn't any walkers, and there was no chance of someone walking behind, and there wasn't any chance of cars going past. There's a lot more the tiny details like that, and the costumes had to be perfect in each shoot, because we were using shots that we did on the first shoot with the second shoot, so we had to use the same costume. We had to make sure everything was perfect and everything looked similar. Also, and now I'll move on to the post-editing and the post-production. So for the preliminary task, it was very simple. We edited it together. We did, cutting between the characters and cutting between the shots we created. Adding music on top of that, and adding music on top, which was copyrighted, but and so we couldn't use copyrighted music for our full product. So for the full product, we spent a lot of time in After Effects. We did we had to sync the talking to the microphone, the waves, the microphone waves, and we had to it was a lot about the little details, so like cutting, making sure it cuts when we wanted to cut when someone was saying a word, so we had to cut between the same word and like make sure it's completely on like spot on. Also like the filter effects and making it look darker and making it look more like a dystopian world, making it look more kind of realistic and like a proper production company has made this film. Also finding the music. So, for instance, for the preliminary task, we found the music in a couple of hours. It was easy. It was done within a couple of about an hour actually. For the preliminary task, we spent a good week trying to like finding music, and then when we did find the right music, we narrowed it down to two, and we were trying to decide which one was which. So we had a group discussion on which one was best, and we chose a non-copyrighted music called Derelict Ship, which is free and you can download it, and it's non-copyrighted, and a lot of people do use it for their amateur productions like ours. But yeah, and so I think. Sorry about the pause. I was just trying to. It's basically. I believe we have improved a lot over time, and like since our preliminary task and our main production. Even though it was a short period of time, we've learned a lot about using different shots and the type of music we're going to have, and the filter effects and post production, and like scheduling stuff and refilming, and just we've improved, and we've taken a lot more care and a lot more. We've paid more attention to detail in the final production than the preliminary task, and I think we've gone on leaps and bounds from where we began, and I think we've improved. All of us have improved immensely since we began the year. So yeah, thank you very much. That was my answer to evaluation question number 7. Thank you for watching.